Alrighty, welcome to the High Altitude Investing live stream. Today is the 7th of November. And yeah, happy Friday, everybody. Super excited to be talking about crypto and what I think is going to happen in the markets. Let's get this link shared on Discord and on X, and we'll get started with today's live stream. So yeah, should be a lot of fun. Super excited. A lot of stuff to talk about. A lot of exciting things going on in the world of crypto with Zcash breaking out and a lot of coins starting to show strength contrary to what most people were expecting. A lot of people were expecting a big crash. Bitcoin is really the only one that has been dropping recently, and even it looks like it's bottoming out right now. So even Bitcoin is showing signs of a bottoming structure. Operation Shutdown, what is up? Welcome. Thank you for tuning in to today's live stream. Let's see here. Did I post that or did I just... Okay, yeah, I did post it. Perfect. Cool. So let's get started for the day. Let's go ahead and pull up Bitcoin first and foremost, and then we'll talk about some of the other coins as well, as you guys request and stuff. So we've got Bitcoin here on the daily candlesticks. And as you can see, Bitcoin did pull back a little bit here from our peak up here at 126. We did pull back down to 99. And that was a nice little pullback here on Bitcoin. So what we have here is we have a broadening triangle. So this is called a bullish megaphone pattern on Bitcoin. This is a bullish pattern, not a bearish pattern. This is a bullish pattern. The best place to buy is right here at the bottom of this megaphone, which is right where we're at right now on Bitcoin. So what I'm expecting to have happen here is a strong bullish reaction off of this support level. I've been looking at this zone of support for quite some time. This whole area over here, even before we broke this area of 109K, this zone of support I've been taking a look at right here. And the thing with support, you have to understand the thing with support is a zone. So, for example, here's Bitcoin. You'd think Bitcoin would have done a perfect support and resistance flip right here, but it actually didn't. Bitcoin bottomed slightly above support. So even though you'd think, support would be an exact price level, support isn't an exact price. And you can see that's true here with Bitcoin, as Bitcoin pulled back right here and did not test the exact high. It bottomed out a little bit above our peak right here at 73. So you can see how Bitcoin actually bottomed out inside of a zone. So let's pull up our rectangle tool here. And if we make that support level now, we make it wider. We make it a bigger area of support and resistance. Now that area becomes valid, right? Because Bitcoin bottomed out in the support and resistance zone. So that's what I mean by support and resistance as a zone. It's not an exact price. You can start looking at this area right here, and it can go lower, but you're still inside of this whole chunk of support in this area right here. So we have a lot of support here on Bitcoin. I know there's a lot of bears. You just can't listen to the bears right now because they are irrational. And this is what I was talking about in my video that I made, not yesterday, but the day before, about AVAX and where we're at in the cycles. because we're really at that point where altcoins are either in disbelief, depression, or they're in hope and belief. They're starting to get a little bit of belief, like Ethereum, XRP, Zcash. People are starting to believe in Zcash. But most altcoins are still in depression, still in disbelief. So it's no surprise that there's a lot of people that are bearish, a lot of bear market euphoria from the altcoin bear market that started back in 2022. We're really at the peak bottom of that bear market on a lot of coins. So there's going to be a lot of bearishness due to the bear market euphoria this from the bear market that started way back in 2022 on altcoins. Chris, what is up? Thank you for tuning in. Litecoin is ripping. Is Litecoin topping out temporarily for a pullback at 91? You know, Litecoin looks really bullish. Looks a lot, actually. It looks a lot like Zcash before Zcash pumped. So if you take a look at Zcash before Zcash broke out, if we go to the 5-day candlesticks here on Litecoin, we can draw a triangle right here. Then if we go over to Zcash on the right, and then we pull up our Zcash chart right here, and we take a look at what happened to Zcash before Zcash broke out and pumped all the way to a new all-time high. On some exchanges, some exchanges it technically didn't because it was added at such a crazy high price. But you can see that triangle pattern on Zcash right here leading up to that big bullish breakout. That's really the same thing that Litecoin is doing right here over on the left. So I'm glad you brought up Litecoin because I'm super bullish on Litecoin right now, Chris. And I see a big parabolic breakout. Here's the thing, a lot of people don't realize what's coming. A lot of people don't know just how big altcoin bull markets are. This is what I've been trying to tell people. The markets will blow people away. It will knock people's socks off. It will go for a bigger run than what most people are expecting. That's what the markets do. They blow people away. And that's what I've been trying to tell people. These markets can look dead. They can look like they're not going to recover. They can look like there's no hope, like it's been going sideways for years or down for years. And it can look completely dead, utterly destroyed, and then completely recover. That's what I'm trying to tell people. And when it recovers, all of a sudden, in the period of not very much time, you wake up and the price of that asset that you had given up on or that you disbelieved could ever go up is all of a sudden up 10 times, 20 times. Look at Zcash. This is what I mean. Zcash is a perfect example. Think how many coins are going to follow the same pattern that Zcash did. This is the same thing that happened in 2017 and in 2021. In 2021, we started to see altcoins take off. Once one of them started to do what Zcash is doing right now, it was like fireworks. One right after the other, blowing up, breaking out, going to the moon, like bam, 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 one right after the other. Just like fireworks going off. And that's what it was like in 2017. That's what it was like in 2021 as alt season started. Zcash is a perfect example of what's coming for crypto. And this is why I can't even sympathize with the people that are bearish right now because they're just so completely delusional to be bearish at this point in the cycle where we're starting this crazy altcoin bull market. You'd have to be completely delusional to be a bear. I mean, look, people are trying to short Zcash. You know what I saw happen twice now? I saw a guy on X post that he was going to go short. He shorted $250,000 on Zcash and got liquidated in 24 hours. Then, you know what he did? He went short again. $250,000 and got liquidated in the next 24 hours. This is the kind of stupidity that people are doing just because of their bearish thesis. They've convinced themselves the market is going to do one thing when really the charts, the setups are set up to go to the moon. They've convinced themselves the market is going to go down, and then all of a sudden they make a bunch of really stupid decisions because of their bias. They try to short something like Zcash. Do you realize how stupid it is to short Zcash? Imagine a dam breaking with millions of gallons of water flooding through a canal, and then you trying to swim upstream that canal, like you trying to swim against the flow of that water. That's what it's like when you try to short something that's breaking out, that everybody's FOMOing into, that is going to the moon. You're seriously, I know it seems tempting because you want to be smart. You want to be that guy that was smart enough to short the top of Zcash. But I'm here to tell you guys, you are stupid to try to go against that flow of money. It's like trying to swim upstream when a dam is breaking. Zcash will probably go a lot higher. I posted in my Discord, I've been bullish on Zcash. I first posted the signal at $47 in the VIP area for this coin to buy Zcash. And by the way, one of my VIP members asked me around the same time what he thought the Zcash was going to do, which is one of the things that cued me into the chart because it looked really good. And I told him, I said, hey, I think Zcash could hit $1,000 this cycle. That was when it was worth $47. Now, if you look at the price of Zcash, it's worth $705 right now. When I said Zcash could hit upwards of $1,000, I know for a fact that that sounded crazy at the time. That sounded crazy. But I knew the cycle. I understood the cycles. I understand the charts. I know what happens to these market cycles. I was comparing it to Bitcoin, looking at Bitcoin back before Bitcoin pumped in 2017 and studying these cycles for years now, and I was bullish on Zcash. Yeah, and it was exciting to see it break out because everything that I talk about in these live streams and in these videos coming to fruition with market cycles, with understanding corrections, understanding psychology, all the stuff that I'm always talking about. So yeah, when I told my VIP member, when he asked me if I could do Zcash analysis for him, and I told him it could go upward, I told him I wouldn't be surprised at all to see Zcash hit $1,000 this cycle, was my exact words over Discord chat. And that's, at the time it was worth $47. So it sounded insane to say that Zcash could hit $1,000. Sounded nuts. But I was trusting my market cycles, trusting what I know about analysis, trusting what I've learned over the 9+ years that I've been doing this. And I decided, you know what, Zcash could go upwards of $1,000, no problem, based on the chart, based on the cycles. And now look at it, worth over $700 as we speak. And it just goes to show that the charts can look so bearish. The charts can look so dead. And if you don't know what you're doing, they're going to look dead when they're not. If you don't know what you're doing, you're going to see something that's down in price, like Zcash before it pumped. Look at this thing before it pumped. All right? If you take the replay tool and you trim back to before it pumped, you have to have an understanding of technical analysis to buy something like Zcash before it pumps. Because it doesn't look, if you're new to trading and you're new to investing and you see something like this, it doesn't look exciting. It's not going up. It's not pumping. It's not exciting. It's just a stupid chart that went down for like 4 years that doesn't look good in any way unless you have an understanding of technical analysis. Then you get excited. You see something like Zcash down here at $47 when I posted the VIP signal for it, and you compare it to Bitcoin over here, and you look at it and you say, this looks like it could go for a monstrous run because I've seen these cycles before. I have an understanding of technical analysis. I know what causes lead to a certain effect. I know what the ingredients for a big bull market are. And because I understand the ingredients, then I'm going to be bullish on something like Zcash, even though if you're new to investing, it doesn't look good. If you have an understanding of technical analysis, all of a sudden Zcash looks really good. And it did. It looked really good to me. And I was so thankful that, shout out to my VIP member, you know who you are, cued me into this. He just asked me one day, do I think it's going to go up? And I looked at the chart and I thought, this looks really good. This looks amazing. Looks like it's going to take off. So, it's nice to have a group of people because we cue each other. That's the cool thing about having a VIP community, is we cue each other into these types of things. A lot of people in my VIP area are posting about charts that they're looking at, coins they're looking at, and we're all working together as a team to make the most money, and it's really cool. But yeah, I love to buy charts that look like Zcash before they pump. And Litecoin, back to the guy that asked me about Litecoin a few minutes ago, Litecoin looks a lot like the same setup as Zcash before it pumped, and even the same setup as Bitcoin over here on the right before it pumped. This fractal is the fractal. This fractal of Bitcoin over here on the right is the fractal of Bitcoin that I used to compare to Zcash in my VIP signal before it pumped. So that's what I mean by fractal analysis and understanding the human emotion and the cycles. Let's pull up our Zcash chart here. I'll show you. Here was the original signal that I posted in my VIP area when Zcash was worth $46, not 47, I guess it was $46. Right here, comparing it to Bitcoin, looking at Zcash at $46 here, comparing it to Bitcoin, looking for a big breakout, looking for a big bull run, and then here's the chart afterwards where it just pumped and went vertical. So this just goes to show these setups work. I know people don't look at the big picture. I know that 90% of YouTube is looking at the short term. Everybody's always worried about, what news event happened or what thing is everybody talking about that makes it justifiable to be bearish. That's what most people are worried about. Most people are looking for a reason to be bearish or bullish in the short term. Some news event, some chart pattern, something to be bearish or bullish in the short term. And so because of that, they see something like Litecoin and they forget to zoom out and to look at the big picture and to look at the chart and to look at what's happening in the big picture. And so they get bearish. Last week, everybody was bearish on Litecoin. Last week. And now look at it. Starting to break out, starting to show the same early signs of strength, the same setup as what happened to Zcash. I could easily see Litecoin doing a Zcash type run over the next few weeks or month. I could see it easily doing a Zcash type of run. But because people are so focused on the news, BlackRock might sell their crypto, or BlackRock is selling, Grayscale is selling some of their crypto, or whatever thing that they're worried about, they stop looking at the setup itself. They stop looking at the bigger picture. They stop looking at the actual chart. And this is the thing that they should be looking at. because this is the thing that keeps you stable, that keeps you grounded. People ask me, Dallin, or they compliment me. They'll say, Dallin, you are so grounded or you're so calm during times of market panic. I get that compliment like semi frequently, especially during big corrections. Why do you think I'm calm during market panic? It's because I'm looking at the big picture. I'm looking at these charts in the big picture. Because I'm looking at the bigger picture, I'm able to stay grounded in reality. I'm not being thrown around by the crowds. I'm not being thrown around by news articles. I'm not being thrown around by whatever it is that people are distracted by. I'm just looking at these charts over multiple years worth of time in the big picture and studying their setups and studying their cycles and realizing what's actually happening from a cycle perspective, not what my opinion is, not what's popular, not what's in the news, but what's actually happening. And then I'm able to kind of cue in. And yeah, when the markets are down and everybody's freaking out, I just stay focused on the big picture. And I don't feel fear. I wasn't feeling fear last week, or as Bitcoin tested 99,000 per coin. I wasn't fearful. It didn't even faze me. I don't feel those emotions of, oh no, what if I'm wrong? What if the market is going to go down? I don't experience that because I'm focused on the big picture. I'm focused on these charts and I know what's happening in the bigger picture and I don't have to worry about, in fact, I get excited. I've been more excited the past couple weeks about crypto than I have for the past year. I'll be honest with you. I've been more excited about crypto over the past 2 weeks than I have the entirety of 2025. And if you're not at that point yet where when the markets go down, you get excited, because you see beyond the lies. If you're not at that point yet, then you still have to learn more about technical analysis. You still have to build more inner resilience, because that resilience and that groundedness and that excitement when the market is going down is exactly the psychology that you need to have to be profitable in these markets. That's what makes you a profitable investor. If you can get excited when the markets are pulling back and people are afraid and everybody's flipping bearish and nothing has really changed, then you've got your head on straight. And if you don't feel that yet, it took 9 years of me studying these charts like every single day to get there, to where I don't feel fearful and scared when the markets are going down. I get excited. It took me 9 years to get there. It doesn't have to take you 9 years of your time to get there. You guys are probably smarter than I am, to be honest with you. But anybody can get to that point where they're not afraid of the markets. They're excited. Satoshi wants me to do theta analysis. So let's pull up theta. But yeah, if there was a coin, before I go to theta, if there was a coin that looks a lot like Zcash before it pumped, Litecoin is definitely one of them. Litecoin looks like a setup that within the next 3 weeks, maximum a month worth of time, I can see doing a run exactly like what we saw happen with Zcash. Litecoin. So don't be surprised if Litecoin does a run like what we saw with Zcash. All right, let's pull up theta here and do some theta analysis. I'm going to drink a little bit of my grape crystal light here. See, I don't drink coffee, and I'm really not much for caffeine, but I will get these crystal lights because they have like a little bit of caffeine, like just a tiny bit. And it's not like a soda that's full of sugar. Because, oh man, if you drink a soda, it's like you drank like infinite amounts of sugar and you just crash and it sucks. So I'm not big on soda. Let's leave here. There we go. All right, so here's theta. Let's zoom out on theta. See, theta is the same setup. This is what I'm trying to tell you guys. People see these charts and this doesn't look exciting. If you don't know anything about technical analysis, let's isolate theta on its own. Let's not compare it to Bitcoin. This doesn't look exciting. It's not like I want to jump out of bed and be like, oh yeah, look at the theta chart, you know? If you don't have an understanding of technical analysis. But if you do have an understanding of technical analysis, this looks like the most exciting chart ever. But if you're new to TA, this just looks like something that's dead, that fell off a cliff, that's never going to recover. You know, it looks like it's dead. If you don't have an understanding about market cycles, about human psychology, about how people get too excited about things and they get too fearful, so we have these big swings in both directions. If you don't understand people and the way that they feel about their investments, then this chart looks not exciting to you. But if you do understand people, if you understand technical analysis, you see a chart like this, and you get excited. Like, it gives you a reason to wake up in the morning. Sometimes to the point where you're so excited you have to stop thinking about crypto so you can pause and read your books. Like, I read books every single morning for like an hour every day at least. And I have to pause and stop thinking about crypto so I can focus on my reading for an hour because my mind is like so excited about what's coming, you know? But that's only because I've been through multiple cycles and I know what happens every time, and I've seen the psychology and I've studied it and I've learned from really, really, really smart people. And because of that, I know I have an understanding of the way that markets move and the way that they work and the psychology in markets. And so I see something like theta and I get excited because I remember what happened to Bitcoin in 2016 and 2017 and how freaking fun it was to watch Bitcoin go all the way to 20,000 per coin when I had been watching it and I had purchased my first Bitcoin on Coinbase around $180, and this thing just went to 20,000 and I made way more money than I knew what to do with by the time I was 21 years old. All through this run, I've seen this before. I know it can happen. That's exactly what's coming for theta. I firmly believe we will have a big parabolic run like what we saw in Bitcoin in 2016 and in 2017. So this chart gets me excited. Jump out of bed in the morning kind of excited because I know how many people are being completely dumb and selling, how many people don't have their eyes on the prize, and how much opportunity that there is in this market right now to make a lot of money because I'm able to see what other people are not seeing. And that gets me excited to know that these markets are going to go crazy and they're going to blow up. That pumps me and gets me excited in the morning and pretty much every day. But that only comes from an understanding of market cycles and understanding of technical analysis. That's why I get excited about theta, because I know that 90% of people don't see what I see. And that's exciting. It's cool to know that there's an opportunity out there that can change my life, can change your life, that a lot of people don't see because they're too blinded by their own opinions, by the news, by ignorance of the way that markets work. They're too blinded. And to know that is exciting, and you want other people to make money too. I get excited. I want to make a lot of money myself, and I know I will. But I also want you guys to make money too, because it's personally rewarding for me to see my followers, my Discord members, my X followers, YouTube followers, for you guys to make money. It's cool to see. So it's rewarding spiritually and mentally, emotionally for me to watch you guys make money too. As much as I do this for myself, I also do it for you guys. Chainlink, sir. Let's pull up Chainlink. Chainlink is a perfect example of everything I've been talking about in today's live stream, which is human emotion, market cycles, people not seeing the market for what it is, opportunity. Chainlink is a perfect example of these cycles. If we look at Bitcoin on the right and Chainlink over here on the left, we can see that Chainlink is basically right here. So as Bitcoin was bottoming out, it did a pretty big correction halfway up here, where Bitcoin pulled back from about $760 back down to about $460, and a pretty big correction. And by the way, everybody thought Bitcoin was dead here. They were calling, China was apparently banning Bitcoin, and there's all this FUD about Bitcoin in this area right here before it broke out. And Chainlink is about halfway up here as it's starting to bottom out. We're about halfway up from our bottom right here. Not quite, but pretty close. And Chainlink did the same type of correction that Bitcoin did about halfway up of its cycle. And so it's a really good place to be buying Chainlink here in preparation for a big run. Like I said, Zcash is basically showing us what's coming for the rest of the altcoins. I know some people don't believe in alt season anymore. Some people are bearish on the markets. You guys, whatever you want to believe, you don't have to do the right thing. You can go be dumb if you want to, but the fact of the matter is that Zcash is showing the way, what's coming for the rest of the altcoins. And Chainlink is a perfect example of a coin that's set up to go parabolic in the same way that Zcash did, in the same way that we're going to see on a lot of these altcoins. John Skamansky says Theta Day. Yeah, every day is a Theta Day, my friend. I am a big Theta fan, big supporter of the Theta network. And I firmly believe that T-Fuel, Theta, T-Drop, all three of those coins are going to do phenomenally well as we run into an altcoin bull market and go into alt season. Jacob Manning says LTC to an all-time high. I agree with you. I think Litecoin will go for an all-time high run in the next 3 weeks. We'll probably go up towards our old all-time high. It will happen really fast. Mark my words. It's extremely likely that Litecoin is over its previous old all-time high before the end of the year. So if you look at Litecoin right now, and we look at Litecoin on, let's just use Binance, it doesn't really matter. Our old all-time high right here at $414. By the end of this year, I think it's extremely likely that Litecoin is up over its old all-time high by the end of 2025. Doing a run very similar to Zcash. This is the way the markets work. If you go study 2017 or 2021, you know what happened to the altcoins? Everybody thought the bull market was over. Then all of a sudden, boom, and one altcoin started to go vertical like this. And then boom, another altcoin started to go vertical like this. And boom, another one started to go vertical like this. This is what happened both cycles, 2021 and 2017. Everybody was bearish on the altcoins. They all thought that it was over. They thought the bull market was over. They were calling tops on the market. And then all of a sudden, alt season happened. The one thing that nobody expected, because it always takes a little bit longer than they think it should, and they always get impatient and they always sell. They always flip bearish right before it turns around into an altcoin bull market. But once it does, you get one coin breaking out, then another one, and another one, then you get another one, and another one, and they just start running like this. And they go straight vertical. It's not like one of them pumps really hard and the other ones barely pump at all. No, it's like every single one of these altcoins during alt season just breaks out and goes vertical, one right after the other, over and over and over and over again. And so this is what's coming for a lot of these altcoins, including Litecoin. Ron Stassler says AZ. Stalzer, I think is how you say your name. Let's pull up old AZ here and we'll do a little analysis on AZ. I'm assuming you mean a zero network, I guess. Would a zero protocol here? Or maybe you mean AZIT? I don't know. We'll look at a zero protocol here on the daily. This is definitely a lower market cap coin. I can already tell by the way the chart looks. Let me know if this is the right coin, a zero protocol. It looks like it could be the right coin. This is, if there was ever a time to buy, it would be right now. You definitely wouldn't want to have bought back here in August of 2024 when we were overvalued. But now that we pulled back like over 90% and we're really kind of trending sideways right now, this is the type of place that you want to buy coins before they break out. This is what I mean. This is why people don't make money, because they don't buy stuff that looks dead. Look at Zcash. Zcash looked completely dead. If you don't understand cycles, Zcash would have looked completely dead right there. But I posted a VIP signal for it at that point in time because of an understanding of cycles, right? And if we pull up AZ again, which I believe I'm covering the correct coin here for you. I hope I am, a zero. If you pull up AZ right here, people are afraid to buy stuff that looks dead. They're afraid to buy. They want a guarantee. They don't want to practice faith. They don't want to try to take risk. They want a guarantee. People just want to know for a fact that something is going to go up, and they want it to look good, and they want to be completely confident in it, and they don't want to do anything that requires any faith at all. But if you want to make money in these markets, you have to practice faith. It's like business. You really think people make money in business without faith? No. They have to have faith. They have to believe in something before they can see it, before they can see the evidence of that thing. They have to believe in their vision of that thing. They have to believe in the fact that they've came on to, in the case of investing, you have to believe in the fact that you found something that's good before it's completely obvious to the entire world that it's good. So you have to buy stuff that looks dead. And the best way to do that is to understand the cycle, the human emotion, and to pick up stuff that everybody else on X and everybody else is making fun of. You know what people were doing to XRP before XRP broke out? Everybody was bearish on XRP. Right here, everybody was bearish on XRP. They were all bearish. Why? Because it was not cool to like XRP. XRP was that stupid coin that pumped in 2017 that everybody thought was, just this dumb altcoin that is getting sued and there's no value in it at all. And they were all bearish on XRP right here. And then it pumped all the way up to a new all-time high. You have to be willing to buy before it's obvious. You have to be willing to put money into something when everybody else thinks it's stupid, when it's not popular or cool to be doing that. That's why it was so cool to me to watch XRP break out, because I had been making bullish videos on XRP through this entire area. In fact, I had been making bullish videos on XRP since over here, especially as it started to come back down to about 30 cents down here after the 2018 bear market started. Once XRP started to come down into this area, I've been bullish on XRP this entire time. And then it broke out all the way to a new all-time high. But the thing is it wasn't cool to like XRP. It wasn't cool to be an XRP bull right here. It was the most unpopular thing that you could possibly do. And then it broke out to a new all-time high. Well, Litecoin is the same way. Litecoin, it's not cool to like Litecoin right now. I'm starting to see some people on X post about Litecoin that they are bullish on it. So there are some people that have their head on straight, but just for as many people that I'm seeing that are posting that they're bullish on Litecoin, I'm also seeing big trading accounts that I will not mention their name that also muted me because they got mad at me on X. Big trading accounts, people that are like kind of famous in the world of crypto, that are getting mad at people for posting bullish Litecoin charts. So this, it's not cool to like Litecoin. It's not popular. It's not, it's not popular to believe Litecoin is going to break out to a new all-time high, just like what happened to Zcash or like what happened to XRP. But that's exactly what it's set up to do, is to break out to a new all-time high, whether you like it or not. Hayden Mayer says, can you look at Dash? Yes, I can. And thank you, by the way, for the donation. I genuinely appreciate that. Dash was another VIP signal. I posted about buying Dash back over here. I'll show you where I posted the signal for Dash. I posted my signal for Dash right here, telling people it was going to break out up to a new local high right here. This is where I posted the VIP signal for Dash. And by the way, Dash is just getting started, you guys. I know that's hard to believe. People thought Zcash was going to top out. Look at it now. It just keeps breaking out. This is what alt season is all about, people. These altcoins break out above resistance. They break out to new all-time highs. They go crazy. But everybody misses it because they always flip bearish right before it happens. And then once it starts happening, they're too skeptical and too cynical to put some damn money into these things. And so they freak out, and then they don't buy their favorite coins, and they panic sell. And all of this stuff right before alt season starts. And once it starts, they won't even buy in because they're too skeptical and too cynical. But altcoin season just got started. Alt season is starting right now as we speak. And Dash is just getting started. Zcash is just getting started. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm being dead serious when I say alt season is bigger than what you're expecting. Way bigger than what you're expecting. But because people disbelieve, they don't buy. Right as it starts, right as the most profitable, most exciting, most glorious part of the entire cycle starts, they won't buy in because they don't think it's going to go up. They're too afraid. In the case of Dash here, we have a bull flag on Dash. I posted a bull flag on Zcash the other day. People thought I was crazy because of how high Zcash was. Look at it now. It broke out. It went even higher. It followed that bullish flag pattern perfectly. And Dash is in a bull flag too, and it's double bottoming. I would not at all be surprised to see Dash break out for a new all-time or a new local high here. And it even could, by the way, it could eventually get to a new all-time high, just like what we're starting to see with a lot of these coins. Now, by the way, if you don't know, Zcash technically isn't in an all-time high. Zcash, if you look at Zcash on Poloniex, if we pull up, because by the way, I've been in crypto. I'm like an old grandpa in the world of crypto. I watched Zcash get added to Poloniex in 2017. I remember getting on Poloniex one day, and there was this coin called Zcash. It was worth like $9,000. And I was like, what? Why is this coin worth $9,000? And then it fell all the way down to $58. So I watched this happen. So technically, the old all-time high on Zcash is $9,000. Technically. So it's not above its old all-time high, because technically it's been worth $9,000 in the past. But I remember this happening. It get added to Poloniex, fall off a cliff. But my point being the fact that Zcash is just getting started. If you look at this chart in the big picture here, you look how long it's been accumulating and how much potential upside it has. This thing is just getting started. I think it could easily hit 3,000, 4,000 per Zcash before a big bear market, which I know blows a lot of people away, but that's 100% possible for that to happen. And that's what alt season is all about. And that's what I want you guys to be thinking about is big parabolic runs. Because if you're thinking like that, you won't sell too early. You will buy in right now when it's the best possible time to buy. You'll hold on for a majority of the pump. You'll let your winners ride. And then you'll slowly take profits. But the time for taking profits isn't now. The time to be buying in is now. And when this market goes really crazy, then you can think about scaling out and taking profits and getting out of the market. But you have to time the cycle properly, because if you don't, you're going to be that guy that sells all his coins right now into the dollar because it's popular and cool to be in the dollar right now, right before alt season starts, which is starting right now. Ron Stalzer says, who would buy that shiz coin zero? I don't know anything about zero or the fundamentals, but people will buy some pretty stupid stuff. We're human beings. And even if a zero isn't a good project, which I don't know about it, so it definitely could be a good project. I don't know. I haven't done research on it personally, but people will buy some pretty stupid stuff. Why? Because they trade based on human emotion, not based on logic. If people traded based on logic, we wouldn't see 90% of the stuff that we see in these markets. Zone for Life says, thank you, Dallin. We appreciate you. Well, thank you. I appreciate you. K7 Gixer 1000 says XVG. You know, I have not done Verge analysis in so long. So that's hilarious that you bring up Verge. I'm happy to do some Verge analysis. I don't know what the volume looks like. That's one of the first things that you want to look at with these old coins that have been around for a really long time. You want to go look and see what their volume and how good the volume is. And it looks like in the past 24 hours, we do have $38 million in trading volume for Verge, which is plenty to see a pump, you know, especially since the market cap is only 139 million, as opposed to a lot of coins that have, you know, some of these bigger market caps. This is pretty low in terms of market cap, and 38 million in 24-hour volume is pretty high in relation to its market cap. By the way, if you're looking at volume, the best way to do volume analysis is to compare the volume to the market cap, because you could have one coin like Dogecoin is on a bunch of exchanges. Dogecoin is popular, has a lot of traction, there's a lot of liquidity, so Dogecoin gets a lot of 24-hour volume. So you wouldn't want to compare Verge's volume to Dogecoin, because Doge is just a bigger, more popular coin than Verge is. But you do want to compare Verge's volume to its own market cap. And that gives you a pretty good idea of how much volume it has in relation to itself, whether it's trading good volume or whether it's really low volume. And 38 million in comparison to 139 million in market cap is plenty of volume here for Verge. Now, if we look at the chart on the bigger picture here, you can see it's also similar to Zcash in the sense that we have this big, very, very long accumulation pattern where the market's going sideways, sometimes pumping a little bit, but mainly going sideways for a very, very, very long time. And if we pull up the Poloniex chart here, and we look at Zcash right here, and we look at Verge over here, you can see kind of the same thing, right? Long, painful, sideways, no big pump since 2017, kind of a structure in the market. Well, we're at that point where alt season is starting. I would not at all be surprised to see some type of a run here on Verge. It is on Binance, it is on MEXC, so there's still interest from fairly big exchanges, and we are doing plenty of volume in relation to its own market cap. I would not be surprised to see something like Verge see a run, even though it hasn't seen one for a long time. This is what I mean by the big moment that everybody's been waiting for is coming, and a lot of coins people thought were dead, and a lot of coins that people don't see any value in or any reason to buy are, some of these coins are going to go parabolic in the same way that Zcash is right now. This is not something that's only unique to Zcash. So yeah, I think Verge actually looks not bad. It doesn't look bad down here. Very undervalued in the big picture. It's a good opportunity. It could easily see a run, and people are pretty excited about privacy coins. Verge is a privacy coin, a pretty good one. As far as I understand, it's a pretty good project in terms of fundamentals and stuff. It could easily see a run. I wouldn't be surprised to see a run on Verge. Robert Richards says T-Fuel baby. Let's pull up T-Fuel. I'm a big T-Fuel fan. I really believe in this project a lot, and especially the whole Theta network, all of the coins on the Theta network I'm big on. Let's pull up T-Fuel here. Let's pull up T-Fuel versus the dollar and go to the big picture here. This is the depression phase of the cycle. If you don't understand the human emotion of a market cycle, then today is the day to start learning, because it's one of the most important things you could ever learn about any market in the world, whether it's crypto or gold or silver or whatever you're trading and investing in. This is one of the most powerful things that you could learn about a market, is the market cycle. And if you study the cycle here on Theta, we were in euphoria over here when Theta was worth 67 cents, or T-Fuel, Theta Fuel. And when it was worth 67 cents, we were in the euphoria phase of the market cycle. Then we came back down, bounced up, and this is the complacency right here of the cycle. When we get anxiety, denial, panic, capitulation, anger, then it bounces up a little bit and goes for one more painful lower low, one more final, painful, brutal, everybody sells lower low. And that's exactly the depression phase of the cycle. That's where we're at right now on T-Fuel, is the depression phase of the cycle. 90% of investors are going to be bearish right now, or have already sold their coins, or are planning to sell, or are selling as we speak. 90% of investors are going to be bearish at this point in the cycle, just like how 90% of investors were bullish on T-Fuel up here at the top in 2021. It's going to be the opposite now. We're in bear market euphoria. And this is why it blows my mind to see people posting, trying to say that we're right here in the cycle. Do you guys have a pair of eyeballs? It doesn't take a genius to realize that these altcoins are not in euphoria. It doesn't take a genius. In fact, it takes a 4-year-old child could probably do better than a lot of people on X and a lot of people on YouTube are doing right now, because they're bearish on crypto, thinking that we're in the state of euphoria of the cycle, when we're in the complete opposite. We're in the depression phase of the cycle. Why do you think everybody's bearish? It blows my mind how people are so blind. They don't see just what really is right in front of their face on the chart. But, whatever. What's happening with Link? Well, Kyle, Link is looking really bullish. We already did analysis on it, so I'm not going to do analysis again. If you just barely tuned into today's live stream, make sure you go rewatch this live stream again. I do run over Link in detail and talk about how I'm bullish on Link. Chainlink is a big, a bullish project for me. I'm big on Chainlink. I'm very bullish on Chainlink as a project. Crypto Noob says my sound is bad. Is it really? I have like a really nice microphone plugged in. Can you guys hear me fine? Normally my sound is really high quality. Let me know if my sound isn't good. Please let me know. But essentially I'm using a nice microphone, so I don't know. Maybe your speakers aren't working good, Crypto Noob. It could be your speakers, man. Be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. Jack, that is one of the best pieces of advice that nobody takes ever. Nobody listens to. But that is seriously one of the best pieces of advice you could ever get. No wonder Warren Buffett is so rich. He understands being greedy when other people are fearful and fearful when other people are greedy. By the way, people that are calling for a top on crypto right now, check out the fear and greed index. This blows my mind. We're in a state of extreme fear. Bull markets top in a state of an extreme greed, not extreme fear. I've never, ever, ever, ever seen a bull market top in a state of extreme fear. Been doing this for 9 years. I've never seen a bull market top in a state of extreme fear. Just something to think about for the people that are bearish. Health or Heath, I guess is how you say her name. Heath says, sing a song. I will be happy to play my guitar and sing a song for you guys before I get off here in a second. Sometimes you move away from the mic, but other than that, it sounds fine. Yeah, I actually really like this mic. I can hold it up close to my mouth, make sure you guys can really hear me nice and clearly. I recently just barely started using this new mic like a month ago or so, around a month, and I really like this new mic. So I'm glad that you guys can hear me clearly, and my goal is that you guys can hear clearly and that these streams will be of the highest quality so you guys can walk away from these streams learning something and understanding what I'm trying to get across. But yeah, so essentially, you guys, to kind of sum up what I've been talking about today, the crypto markets are bullish. I know a lot of people want to say otherwise. This is a perfect dip buy to buy the dip right now for a local bottom, just like for the people that bought the dip right here, for the people that bought the dip right here before we broke out, before we went up for a new local high. I see this as being a very similar opportunity to be picking up more crypto at dirt cheap prices before we go up higher here. Some coins are starting to show what's coming in the rest of the market. Like Zcash is a good example of what's coming for the altcoins, what's coming for the alt season that we've all been expecting, we've all been waiting for a long time. Zcash is a good example of what that is going to look like and how exciting and profitable that is really going to be. So the best is yet to be, the best is yet to come. The most profit, the most exciting days are up ahead. That's why I tell you guys, stay focused on the future, the big picture, because better things are coming. A lot better than what we saw in 2025, which, to be honest, was kind of a lame year for crypto. It was good for Bitcoin, and Zcash is now starting to take off, so 2025 is kind of redeeming itself a little bit, but 2025 was kind of overall kind of lame for crypto, at least in comparison to the end of the year in 2024, which was super fun and super exciting. So 2026 could be super bullish for crypto. This cycle is a lot bigger than what most people are thinking, a lot longer, a lot more extended. I for sure see the rest of this year being super bullish. We'll take things as we go, see what the markets look like at the end of the year. But I definitely see a lot of bullishness between now and the end of the year. And the cycle could last longer than even what a lot of people think, because I know a lot of people are thinking 4-year cycle. So a lot of people are thinking a top at the end of this year. But for some reason, everybody gave up on that. And they're all bearish and they all think the top is in already. And I'm like, you guys, you're so dumb. If you're going to at least believe in your magical 4-year cycle, at least play it. At least hold on to what you're originally thinking, which is that most people are waiting till the end of the year to sell. Not right now, but whatever. People will be people. So, yeah, crypto total market cap looking good. Luke Bodenstein says, don't go. This is like a soothing therapy session. Well, I'm glad this feels like therapy. Yeah, basically just stay faithful, you guys, You're going to make money in these markets. I really believe that. There's a lot of distractions, a lot of things that can take you away from the truth. That's why I try to do these live streams as consistently as possible, to keep you guys level-headed, to keep you guys looking at the right things. But yeah, I think that if people just kind of stay focused on the bigger picture here and what's coming in the bigger picture, they're going to make a lot of money. It just comes when people get so thrown around by their opinions or by what's popular, what's cool in the moment, that people start making bad decisions, you know. So I'm glad that this stream can be of value to you guys, that it can help you guys keep a level head and make better decisions in your investing. Cool. King J says, I'm bullish on the Richard Hart ecosystem. Richard has been making a lot of moves behind the scenes lately. You know, I haven't been looking a lot of what's been going on over there. I do know that some of the charts do look pretty bullish. So, yeah, I think there could be big things coming over there, too. Oliver Dow says, Solana, thank you. Okay, Solana will be the last coin for the day. I would like to cover more coins. I know I missed other coins in the live chat because you guys posted a lot of them over the past hour. So I won't be able to do all of the coins that you've requested in today's live stream. But I will run over Solana here, and we will talk a little bit about what's coming for this coin in the short term and what I think is coming in the bigger picture too. So what I see here with Solana, pretty simple, kind of a chart. Let's actually pull up Solana over here on Binance, where we got a little bit more data. And if we look at Solana over here on Binance and we pull up the chart, let's pull up Solana. Let's zoom out, and then let's pull up a stock actually called Costco. I'm sure you guys know about Costco and their famous hot dogs. But if you look at Costco back in the day, Costco actually did the same. It actually did the Solana fractal. So I was bullish on Solana down here. I posted in my Discord in the VIP area down here at $12 to buy Solana to pick more up. That I saw the bottom of the market cycle being at that area down here at around, $10 per Solana, and it ended up being the bottom of the cycle. But how I came to that conclusion, how I understood that was probably the bottom of the cycle, was first of all just a basic understanding of market cycles, of the human emotion that happens every time, that I've talked about in these live streams a lot, and then also having an understanding of fractals and how markets do the same types of patterns over and over again, even if they're completely different industries. And that's where I was comparing Solana to Costco right here. So when Costco bottomed out in 1995, and I was comparing Solana back over here in 2023, I posted on my YouTube channel publicly, and for in my VIP area as well, I posted a signal to buy Solana down here at around $10. What cued me into that was this Costco fractal. And what's actually happened to Costco broke out here, broke above its old all-time high. Then it had a bit of a correction. You can see a bit of a kind of spook right here, kind of a big sell-off. But then it kept going up. It kept increasing in value, kept growing, kept becoming a bigger and bigger thing, because there's real-world demand for this stock and for the value that it provided for the world. Well, Solana provides real-world value too. As shocking as that sounds to all the people that hate Solana, it actually provides real-world value. People are using this coin all the time to build projects, to release meme coins. There is real-world value being created by Solana. How much of it's being created is a whole different discussion, where some people are going to think a lot, other people are just going to think it's a totally useless coin. But the fact is that there's demand for it, and that demand is going to drive price higher. So if I was to look at Solana and tell you where I see Solana in terms of its cycle, it's in the phase of the cycle where we're starting to get a little bit of belief, a little bit of hope, a little bit of, maybe this thing will see a run. Maybe this will go for a big run. We're starting to get a little bit of that in terms of where we're at in the cycle. And I think we're going to go a lot higher from here. and see a lot more growth and see a lot more upside for Solana, whether you like this coin or not. That there's demand for the project, and it looks a lot like Costco over here on the right. Before Costco continued to go parabolic in its uptrend. So there's a lot of potential for Solana. High Tech Redneck says hoping for some explanation on T-Drop and Levitia swinging so hard. I would love to keep doing analysis on coins today. I really probably better not just keep going. I'll do T-Drop real quick for you, and then we'll call it a day. I'm going to play my guitar too, because apparently I've been requested to do that. T-Drop here. Let's pull up T-Drop. T-Drop, same thing about the depression phase of the cycle that I was talking about with some of these other coins. If we pull up the market cycle chart here and paste it onto T-Drop and take a look at T-Drop and where it's at in its cycle, it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward kind of a chart with T-Drop here. We have a big pullback right here, big huge crash. So this would be the anxiety, denial, panic, capitulation, anger. So this is anger right here, anger right here. And then you bounce up a little bit. Looks like the bottom is in when it's really not. And you go down for one more painful lower low. And that painful lower low is where everybody sells. That's the depression phase of the cycle, the point of maximum financial opportunity, the point of the highest return on your investment if you're able to buy, the depression phase of the cycle before a new cycle starts. You guys know I'm big on theta. I think theta is going to go for a new all-time high. T-Drop, T-Fuel, they're going to follow theta. I can pretty much guarantee they're going to follow theta all the way up. So big things coming for the whole ecosystem, the whole theta network. Oliver Dow says UC Zcash WTF. Actually, Zcash was a VIP signal, Oliver. So this is something that I posted in the VIP for the people that are part of my lifetime VIP and my one-on-one coaching and all the VIP products that I provide. Zcash, I posted a buy signal for Zcash at $46 right here, comparing it to Bitcoin before Bitcoin went parabolic and vertical in 2016 and in 2017. And sure enough, Zcash has been following that fractal perfectly. So this goes to show how powerful understanding the market cycle really is, and understanding where you're at in terms of the human emotion, what most people are feeling, and how to go against what most people are doing, since 90% of people do the wrong thing. So you have to go against the crowd. So Zcash, yeah, I have seen Zcash, and we've been buying it, and I posted to buy Zcash in my VIP area over here at $46. Okay, cool. Let's play my guitar a little bit because I've been requested to. Luke Bodenstein says Dot is running. Yes, Polkadot does look really good, by the way. Polkadot, Uniswap. A lot of those swapping platforms are starting to look pretty good. Polkadot definitely looking like it could see a reversal very soon. Depression phase of its cycle too, by the way. That's the depression phase of Polkadot's cycle in terms of, where it's at in its emotion and where it's at in its cycle. So cool. Wonder what song I should play for you guys today. I can't play. Here's the thing, as much as I want to play Here Comes the Moon, because the moon really is coming, I get demonetized every time that I do. Or actually, technically it's ad sharing, so I have to share some of my ad revenue with other people. And it's not like the ad revenue makes a big difference in my life. But, it's just kind of like, man, copyright. It's not a copyright strike, but I basically have to, because they think that it's the real song, Here Comes the Sun, when it's really a remix of it. But whatever. Actually, I can't play that song either. All the songs that I want to play, I'll get demonetized, you guys, if I play them. It's like kind of sucks. The YouTube is like that, but whatever. People should rightfully get paid for what they've worked on, you know. And so if they own the rights to their music, they should get paid for it. Trying to think of what I can play where I won't get banned for playing it, you know. Um, Also, my guitar is out of tune a little bit, you guys. It's not good. Give me just a second to tune my guitar, and I promise I'll play a song for you. Okay, that's close enough. Play an original. Alright, I do have one original song. It's kind of corny. My friend and I wrote this together. It's like a I actually have more than one, but this I'll play this once for you guys. It's kind of corny. It I'll just play it for you guys. Sitting on the beach, watching the sun go down. Thinking how my life is so much better now. Now that I met you, everything's lit up in gold. Been looking for something to buy, but now I'm sold. We'll go Friday night to the beach. We'll go people watch on the street. Maximum occupancy, Judy, you and me. I don't know what you said, but you look good saying it. I want a little more of you, I have to admit. Family, that's what we'll be. I know that you love me for my authenticity. We'll go Friday night to the beach. We'll go people watch on the street. Maximum occupancy, Judy, you and me. We'll go Friday night to the beach. We'll go people watch on the street. Maximum occupancy, Judy, you and me. There you go. And by the way, my friend and I just wrote that because we were like, wanted to write a song about a girl, but we didn't want to write a song about like a girl. Like, we don't know a girl named Judy, so we just picked some random name that we thought, like, we didn't want to be exposed, you know? But that song is about a girl, and yeah, we had a lot of fun writing it. So, my live stream is glitching out on me. So yeah, I do have some original music. Most of the original music that I wrote when I was like 13 years old. So a lot of the original music that I wrote was like really corny. Like love songs when you're like 13 and you fall in love with like every girl that you see. So I wrote a lot of music when I was younger. I still write music. I mainly write Christian music these days, though. Um, I write a lot of Christian music because it's just, I like to sing about Jesus and praise Jesus. And so I like to write a lot of Christian music. But um, so yeah, there's my song for you guys. It's kind of fun. Um, encore, encore. Lego King is cool. Says. Uh, let's see. What other song could I do where I won't get banned for playing it? Um, Here you go. I'll play one more song. This one isn't with singing though. Um, this is just guitar. The awakening is happening. So good timing for singing about Jesus. Yeah, it's really cool to see how many people are coming around to Jesus Christ. It's cool to see the Charlie Kirk thing happen where a lot of people are believing in Jesus because of him, even though terrible, highly unfortunate for him and his family that he passed away. But the kind of bright side of that is how many people are seeing what happened and they want to believe in Jesus and they want to stand up for, truth and not be of the world, because there's so much worldliness out there and so many beliefs that are wrong and so many things that are destroying families. And so it's cool to see people coming around to Jesus Christ and how many people, really trying to live moral lives, trying to be better people. Yeah, it's really cool. I think there is kind of an awakening happening in my generation, which is awesome because it wasn't that long ago and nobody really believed in Jesus. But you go back 3 generations and everybody believed in God, but all of a sudden nobody believed in God. That it kind of fell off a cliff for a while. So it's cool to see people coming around to belief in God, even if they don't believe in Jesus himself. Even people coming around to believe in God is a huge step in the right direction. But yeah, I'll play one more song for you guys. This is Nearer My God to Thee. I'm gonna play. This isn't a singing song. Well, it is a singing song, but I'm not gonna sing. I'm just gonna play the guitar arrangement of it for you guys today. So this one's dedicated to my grandpa and my grandma, who are both passed away now. Both of them, before they passed away, I was able to play this song for them, like on their deathbeds, like the day before they passed away. I was able to play the song for them. So there you go. There's Nearer My God to Thee on the guitar. And yeah, I love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's live stream. I'm excited about the future. Big things are coming for crypto. Get ready for a lot of profitability in these markets. Zcash is an early sign of what's coming. Most coins are in depression. Most coins are ready for big picture reversals, big runs, very similar to what we saw on Zcash. Again, you guys, markets don't top in a state of extreme fear. The fear and greed index is in a state of extreme fear right now. The only time I've ever seen a market top is in a state of extreme greed. So I think big things are coming, and alt season is just getting started. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Apply for one-on-one coaching. I guess technically I don't have the application form in the description of this. So if you guys want to do coaching one-on-one with me, send me an email. Be happy to do coaching with you guys. I've got a couple slots, a couple hours per week that I have open for coaching, and I'd love to have you on the team and have you be part of the one-on-one program and help you guys start making money in these markets. So yeah, thank you for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you guys in future videos and in future live streams. And as always, stay profitable out there.